I was ready for a good show, but then I looked at the lineup and I was like, damn, I gotta talk to this guy for 30 something minutes. And then I realized that was just a reflection. I got panicked and scared. I don't have problems. All of my therapists, they like me. They give me lots of free therapies. They're little candies. You take them. Sometimes you just put them under your tongue, and then you feel good for a while. You want to feel good for a while with me? Come on, let's watch the show. Yeah, 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 yeah. I know I'm stupid. Shut up and just enjoy it.
Here's one thing, a conspiracy theory that I think is 98% likely to be true. That people come into politics with $100,000 a year salary and walk away with $50 million net worth from their stock trades. That's insider trading. And by the way, if you ask ChatGPT what percentage of insider trading is caught, 15%. So for sure, only 15% of people go to prison. The other 85% get rich. That's why I tell people, be careful thinking you can trade stocks and become wealthy if you're not a dishonest person, because the dishonest people have an advantage on you because they fly to the company headquarters. They pay an employee, what's your earnings report going to be? Oh, it's going to be down. They go short that stock.
Did you know they actually have apps to follow these Congress people? If somebody like Pelosi, who is a multimillionaire and doesn't even make $1 million a year, it should be impossible, by the way, um, they're doing better stock trading than billionaires. Better than people who've been doing it 30 plus years. How is this possible unless they're inside trading? Excuse me. Sorry about that. Allegedly, they're doing inside trading. That's what they're doing. It's inside trading.
There are many clues that show just that. That the Great Wall of Tartaria was to keep the Chinese out. Just look at the maps of the old world. It makes much more sense when comparing Tartaria's borders against China. But it's far from the maps that provide us the clues to this. Just look at some of the positionings, whether it's the fort and the place where the wall would actually defend against people is all on the Chinese side, except for the sections that they have opened up to tourists and worked tirelessly to rewrite history. But try as hard as they might, they have a long way to go. But many truths are still hidden in plain sight. Like this gentleman Marco Polo, who was famous for exploring the Chinese Silk Road and never talked about the Great Wall of China, ever. Strangely enough, when you go to Wikipedia here, you'll see Polo wearing a Tartar outfit print from the 18th century. Never mind that he died in 1300, but still. Interestingly, you see the little logo on the top left too. Maybe that's why he never talked about the Great Wall of China, or it was omitted. History is nothing more than a set of lies agreed upon. A set of lies they agreed upon. But if you want to start digging up the truth, you can start right at the controller's official websites and research the mud flood and fall of Tartaria. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Chinese can do amazing things. Synchronize what look like 1 million people. Fireworks all over the place. Ask them to park.
10 years ago, when I said the lottery system is basically a funnel for the intelligence agencies, people laughed at me. Oh, Gary, you're out of your mind. I also said around the same time that they have magnets in the goalpost and they inject metal particles in the football. So when they kick those field goals, they can sway them any way they want. They said I was crazy too. Both of those got proven to be right. Both of those got proven to be.
I remember being crushed when I looked into this. Did you know that the family members of people who something tragic has happened, something where they need to be quiet about it, have won the lottery like $100 million? Yeah, same name. Some of these people who ain't even supposed to be alive anymore have been the winners. So it's a scam, and I'm not saying it all is. Of course, play, waste your money, or do whatever you want with it. I don't care. Sometimes I do it too. But just know the jackpots are going to hush money people, just keep them quiet for the stuff they did. Thank you for your service.
I've got to show you guys something. This is traditional sweet corn. Now, what's really wild about this is not what we used to call our heirloom seeds. This is just our regular sweet corn that you buy off the shelf. This is GMO corn. Now, we grow this as our field corn. And the reason I want to show you this, I'm going to show you two things. This is heirloom corn. Now, we don't weed it. Normally every year, this corn has come up and done really good for the last 10 years. Same seed, so I've grown it over and over, and we rotate our crops. But also, you look at the sunflowers. Once you look at them sunflowers, the sun, I can't see it, but well, the sun basically is right there, and they've got the flowers have turned away from the sun. This is not something, obviously, if you look down this, that's our garden. We grow over an acre worth of just garden. So what I'm trying to get at is something's not right. There's two things that ain't right. The amount of aluminum in our soil now is 5 times to 10 times higher than it was even last year. Let me show you something else. Now that sweet corn is bought, like I said, from the store, so it's not an heirloom seed. It's supposed to be an all-natural seed. It's non-genetically GMO, but I'm starting to doubt it. However, these are cucumber plants. Now, traditionally, those cucumbers, I'd have so many. After putting them on the stand, we'd be giving them away, giving them to food pantries. And our corn, you know, that heirloom corn, we'd be giving it away. Our garden this year has suffered the worst. It's not due for not water. These are some of our hot pepper plants. Normally, these plants, I would have so many of these hot peppers that you wouldn't be able, I wouldn't be, like I said, I couldn't sell enough of them. We'd be giving them away. And hopefully we have a better garden next year. So we still got enough that we're going to be able to maintain costs, operational costs. We still have our vegetable stand. It's just not booming like it usually is. We've let the weeds kind of come back up and take over some of the garden because we weren't getting the production out of it what we should. So the stand's good. We're going to can enough for our family, but as far as being able to provide for others, it's not going to be as viable for us to be able to do that. Y'all have a good day.
There's no money in natural. They always call it woo-woo, holistic, whatever you want to say. But unless they can market it, they can take the DNA and say, I own that strand, or do something where the seeds cost you money every single year, I mean, the quality of natural is just going to go down. I mean, why is it so much more expensive to do less work? Organic means that it's double the price. It's supposed to be healthy food. I got to eat like crap just to survive. That's the weirdest thing ever.
They say this was an accident, but when a military plant blows up overnight, how is that an accident? I'm confused. Do y'all notice every time something big go down, the people that you're supposed to hear talk the most be the most silent? I be trying to understand, like, why y'all niggas not talking now? This explosion was not just a random accident. I don't care what they talking about. Look at this shit. This happened at the Accurate Energetic System, a plant that happens to make explosives for the U.S. military, y'all. Now, multiple people is presumed unalive, and 19 other people is missing. They said this blast was so powerful that first responders couldn't even go into the building. That's crazy, fool. And here's where it get weird, y'all. They said a secondary explosion went off long after the first one, like it was something in there they didn't want to get found. So they're calling it a workplace accident. So why do they have the ATF there and all these other law enforcement there locking down the area? You ask me, if this was just a factory fire like they say, it wouldn't feel this controlled or wouldn't feel this quiet. Sometimes it's not about what they tell you happened. It's about what they'll never admit that really happened. Let me know how y'all feel about this down below.
Did you see the size of that explosion? Oh yeah, and by the way, a warehouse that builds explosives, it might explode at some point. That's, it's a non-brainer. I don't think you're gonna have to go very far to figure that out.
Just want to point out as well, you often see these shapes in these buildings that are now called churches, etc. But these shapes are not accidental. If you look into something called cymatics, you'll see that when sound is played through water, etc., or if you put like sand on a speaker and play it at different frequencies, it creates different shapes. And these are more often than not the shapes that it creates. Very weird.
How do you feel about that whole Tartaria thing? Because honestly, these buildings, they look incredible. I mean, the technology behind it just looks like they shouldn't have been able to do it. Maybe they just had more time, skill, and they actually cared. If somebody's only building 4 of these in the entire city and he's your king, then yeah, you probably spend a little bit of time on it. But it is impressive, and the amount of detail that's put into it. I mean, I don't know. Either that or people were actually smart and not idiots, like we think they just were cavemen or something. I don't know, it's possible.
Hey, bro. Hey, man, that's my gun, man. Give my pistol back, bro. Don't do me like that, dog. Hey, come on, bro. Bro, come on, man. Don't do me like that, dog. Hey, y'all don't do me like that, bro. Hey, come on, dog. Hey, bro. Hey, don't do me like that, bro. Hey,
Just let
hey,
it
that's
go.
wrong, bro. Hey, nah.
Why would you go back with no weapon talking about, hey, let me get that back? What is wrong with you? You heard those at the end? Yeah, fairy tale part? Sure, he was fine. Nothing happened. All the bullets missed. In fact, he put his hand out like this and you heard ping, 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 and he found out he was a superhero. The day after that, he saved the whole entire world, stopped crime, and there's no more pollution thanks to that man. Yeah, he died.
These are the top 5 worst geographically placed cities in America. Number 5, San Francisco. So the reason that this one is number 5 is because of a couple of things. So first, because it's actually placed directly on top of the San Andreas fault line, which is one of the strongest faults in all of the world and is capable of producing earthquakes that would level any city on this planet. Also, because it's placed on such a tight peninsula, it makes expansion impossible. So San Francisco is as large as it's ever going to get. The only way it could grow is to grow up. Number 4, Miami. Most of the city barely sits above sea level, and then on top of that, it doesn't matter what they do. It is literally made of a substance that is like a sponge. So any water that is around the city gets soaked up by the ground that it's underneath, and so flooding is always happening in Miami. So they predict that in the next 50 to 100 years, Miami will be completely underwater. There's even plans right now to preserve parts of the city and have it as an underwater like museum, basically. Number 3, Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona is on this list. I think it's probably the most obvious of all so far because it literally sits within the desert and summers get up to sometimes 120 degrees Fahrenheit. It's almost unlivable. And you think about how were people living in Phoenix in the 1800s and 1700s, and the answer is not very many people were. You ask why did people ever choose to live in Phoenix? It's because it was a good like middle point between going west and the east. Number 2, Las Vegas, Nevada. Just like Phoenix, this is another one, another desert where summers get up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. The thing that makes it a little bit worse than Phoenix is there's no natural water sources. Back in the day, there were natural springs. Now Vegas completely depends on the Colorado River, but guess what else depends on the Colorado River? Los Angeles, Denver.
So what happens when that dries up?
The Colorado River is almost completely dried up. Within the next 20 to 30 years, Vegas is not going to be a place where people can live anymore. And number one, New Orleans. New Orleans is number one, and it is known around the world as being the single worst example of human infrastructure ever. And it's because of one very simple reason. The entire city of New Orleans is under sea level, and it's surrounded by water on all sides. On one side, it's surrounded by Lake Pontchartrain. On the other side, it's surrounded by the Mississippi River. And then on the other side is the Gulf of Mexico. It's a bowl. Any inconvenience whatsoever, and the city is flooding. What makes it even worse, it's sinking 2 inches a year. So there is a realistic chance that within the next 20 to 30 years, New Orleans ceases.
Did bro say the whole city's gonna go down just because it's hot outside? Has he ever seen the fact that we put entire cities on the edge of a cliff, and when they ask for what reason you can't even get up here with supplies, we just say because we wanted to. We do stupid shit on a daily. People look at the hugest, highest mountain and go, I'll be back. What? It's too hot. And you, what? You're lazy, bro. You're just lazy.
You mentioned you miss the secrets.
I do.
So you read the news.
Yeah.
And what is happening? I mean, this is too broad a question, but like what is happening behind the scenes that people don't realize? How much of the news is just total propaganda and just missing 50%, 90% of the detail?
So I want to pin that on you because that's the right question. And I want you to answer it honestly because he's asking the right question. How much of the news is wrong?
Well, I mean, I think if it's a proper news source and they are reporting facts, right? Like observable facts, then they're getting those right. The problem is that so much of news media isn't reporting facts, it's so much opinion. And when you start getting into the opinion, so much of that is just what's the word, conjecture, right? They're guessing. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Just like you were saying, there's a lot of backroom conversations that are happening that the media will never see, right? What they see is what the governments want them to see. When the US government or the government of France comes out and makes some kind of big, like, oh, we're doing this now. Who knows what's really happening behind the scenes? Something is happening behind the scenes, but we will never be privy to that until the next big announcement,
So, and I just want to chime in because what Jihi said there is with the very professional, journalistically sound news sources, what they report that's observable is factual. Well, we all know your journalistically sound news sources are increasingly shrinking. There's probably 3 that you can think of, right? Like Reuters. I would say Reuters is journalistically sound. The Economist is journalistically sound.
Do you think that one political party or another is better at providing a broader clarity as to what's happening, or they're equally culpable in their facade that they're presenting to the world?
Equally culpable. Yeah, I do not think the political parties.
Until you've been on Capitol Hill and actually watched these assholes yell at each other on camera and then have lunch together and give fist bumps, you don't get it. It's so twisted and
so it's all
perverted.
theater.
It's all theater.
It's all theater.
In the U.S. government, it's all theater because at the end of the day, they all want the same thing.
Yep.
They all want a re-election, another term in office. They all want to make sure that they don't have to go find a real job. They all want to make sure that they can vote and control their own salaries. That's really what they want. And then they want to make sure that any newcomers that come in understand this is how business is done. And then the American people, we give them permission to do that because we only show up at like 30% to vote anyways. And they know that. So they know exactly who the 1 out of 3 people is that's going to show up to vote and exactly what to say to get that constituent to come out every midterm. And that's what they do when the time comes to do it.
So that was 2 CIA agents showing you how to answer questions. He was prepping her, but in a positive way. Like the way he said, now I want you to answer this. Now make sure you're honest and stuff. It's like if he's prepping you, but he's actually talking to her. Somebody tells you on this YouTube for videos, I'm the type of person that loves to read books. I have a few degrees. None of this is stuff you know about them. It could be a lie. It could not be. But either way, they're telling you so your mindset is already thinking it's the truth. Everybody's doing this in some certain way when they're trying to sneak attack you. So when somebody sets stuff up like that, it's probably bullshit. By the way, you can trust me. I have 3 degrees in this.
Here I am with my reptilian friend again. He can only do it sometimes, and then it goes back to his normal skin. but he doesn't really want to be known. So I've known for years. He's always been my friend. Yeah, they live among us.
Freddy Krueger is selling his for money, huh? Yeah, that's called a burn victim. That's sad, but yeah, it's a burn victim.
So here we have a lot of very compelling evidence. You're going to see drill holes like this one, of which there are many, not only here on the Giza Plateau, but also other locations in Egypt. You can see, obviously, it's some kind of tube drill, and don't try to presume even for a second that these were done in modern times, because the penetration rate of the drill is estimates according to people such as machinists who have been with us on location in Egypt, that the penetration rate is 500 times more efficient than a 21st century drill. And we can tell that by the spiral or the grooves that are left behind. Each groove means that the penetration rate was likely 2 to 3 millimeters per revolution. Now that is impossible to be achieved by our present modern technology. And also, no, these were not samples taken by geologists or someone like that, because the technology is far more advanced than what we have.
Now, I heard Egyptians had a very good penetration rate, but come on, 500 times more than me? Yeah, right. I don't think so.
A nurse was so lazy that he killed his patients to reduce his workload. Reports are coming out today that an unnamed 44-year-old German man has been sentenced to life in prison after killing 10 of his patients and attempting to murder at least 27 others. Prosecutors say that he targeted mainly his elderly patients by injecting them with lethal amounts of painkillers or sedatives to ease his workload during night shifts. Bro, killing because you can't be asked is wild. But what makes this even worse is that all of these offenses took place over a period of just 6 months. And it might not even end there, because authorities believe that he could be linked to even more victims prior to this.
You know, he could have just tried America's Cup of Coffee, right? You know, they sell something for that, right? $20 would have had you moving. You would have done everything. You would have done everybody else's job. You would have been overtiming instead of trying to unalive 45 people. That's horrible, man. That's horrible.
Has a lot of weird, intertwined iconography around this idea of the fish god. Now, yeah, this seems like quite strange, but there is this connection. There's a biblical connection to Dagon, I will talk about in a minute. The Greeks had their own gods who were amphibious and androgynous. We even know from Plutarch that the earliest representations of Zeus were of a man with a fishtail, an image which survived in Greek mythology in the form of his brother Poseidon. So, once again, all throughout the Middle East and the world, you find these fish gods associated with the tree of life. Enki in Samaria was Ea in Babylon, and he was also considered a fish being who lived in a watery vault, an underwater palace like many of these beings. And when the Philistines brought the ark to the temple, this is what happened. After the Philistines had captured the Ark of God, they took it to Ebenezer, to Ashdod, carried it into the temple of Dagon, and set it beside the statue. When the people of Ashdod got up early the next morning, there was Dagon falling on his face before the Ark of the Lord, and the head and the arms were broken off of this fish god. Just to show you, well, first of all, it's a pretty strange story that the Ark of the Covenant had some effects on the statue of the fish god, but in the Bible, they also talk about the pagan worship of.
I'm completely sold. Yeah, they were real. Yeah, that sold me on all of it. Yep, totally real. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, some of those trees look massive, and the stumps that are supposedly not stumps, I mean, it looks like a petrified stump. It could be. I don't know. I mean, Jack and the Beanstalk is a very old story that came from somewhere. There's always a kernel of truth in something. I don't know. But then again, if you can make money on it, people will try and lie about it. So
DJ Shaquille O'Neal shows demonic visuals at his first 360 show that sold out. Oddly enough, he commented this on one of my videos a while ago, and he said, "They even got me, man. Save me, someone please." Now, he could be trolling, or is this the truth in plain sight? And when you take a look at his visuals, I mean, someone getting crucified with chains, you have this woman praying with horns on her head, and I mean, you got skulls with horns on them and all kinds of stuff. And I'm not saying these two are correlated, but Shaq is a open and proud Freemason and he wears his ring all the time, but just very interesting.
man, I'm surprised O'Neal isn't tired of this already. Isn't he like 65 years old? I mean, how long you gonna be DJing for, bro? I know you got 5 doctorates. What the hell's wrong with you? But seriously though, like, how played out is the demonic stuff already? Are you guys as tired of it as I am? I'm waiting for somebody to make God cool. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Oh yeah, that's right, because he can strike people down and do all kinds of cool stuff. But the demonic stuff is like, it's everywhere, everywhere. Okay, I get it, bro. Yeah, okay, hell, whoever that. Yeah, I got it. It's boring. It's played out. Concerts are rituals. Okay, cool. And then everybody dies, and then they get squished, and then you're like, oh crap, they are rituals. Wait a minute, that's sad.
Also, I had to find, one time they wanted me to find out if there was such a thing as a poison that was undetectable, especially one that seemed to mimic a heart attack, that would kill someone, but it would appear that they had a heart attack. I did find such a thing.
Does this pistol fire the dart? Yes, it does, Mr. Chairman, and a special one was developed which potentially would be able to enter the target without perception.
The poison was frozen into some sort of dart, and then it was shot at very high speed into the person. So when it reached the person, it would melt inside them, and the only thing would be like one little tiny red dot on their body, which was hard to detect. There wouldn't be a needle left or anything like that in the person.
But also the toxin itself would not appear in the autopsy? Yes, so that there was no way of perceiving that the target was him.
What else did Kubrick show in those 24 minutes? Everyone in the crew signed lengthy contracts and strict confidentiality agreements, so almost no verifiable information is available. However, most rumors contend that it had something to do with the shocking Illuminati mansion party. This type of event actually dates back to ancient times, such as the Greek and Roman Bacchanalia festival, which involved masked orgies as part of the invocation of pagan gods. The old-moneyed European aristocrats have been secretly attending such events for hundreds of years. In fact, Traum Novelle, the story from which Kubrick based the screenplay, was about a couple who experiences a similar party in upper-class Austria around the turn of the century. Austria is near the Bavarian region of Germany, where the original Bavarian Illuminati was founded. Alice is seduced by a hypnotic older gentleman who introduces himself as Sandor Savost, which many believe to be a reference to Anton Sandor LaVey, founder and high priest of the Church of Satan. One of the mysterious women who leads Bill off introduces herself as Nuala Windsor,
Do you know Nuala Windsor?
alluding to British royalty and their association with the Cabal. One mask in particular is said to bear a resemblance to Bob Hope, who has been named by whistleblowers as an MK Ultra handler.
Before today, you've refrained from naming names. Would you like to tell us who was involved in these various activities that you've described before?
Yes, I would, Ted. It's real scary for me, but I'd like to go on public record saying that my owner under mind control was Bob Hope, and that I was abused and used as a mind control sex slave.
Most believe Harford saw something profoundly disturbing at the ritual, perhaps a literal sacrifice or other such bizarre type material. Still, others speculate Kubrick may have exposed the satanic elite's use of children in their bizarre rituals as well. Elite child trafficking rings have come to light in Belgium, the UK, the US, and other countries, proving there's a much more sinister side to these secret parties. Was this what Kubrick was really trying to warn us about? He had already alluded to this theme when Bill goes to the costume shop and encounters a father prostituting his underage daughter. The name of the costume shop is Rainbow Fashions, Rainbows, rainbow symbolism, and Wizard of Oz themes are all related to MK Ultra mind control.
Do you want to go with a rainbow and...
And lending credence to this theory is a conversation which allegedly occurred between Nicole Kidman and the acclaimed filmmaker Stanley Kubrick. Kidman claims Kubrick told her pedophiles are running the world, going on to say he told her how the world really works and who is in charge behind the scenes while filming the movie Eyes Wide Shut. If this is what Kubrick exposed in those 24 minutes, no wonder he ended up dead. However, Nicole was never as naive to this sordid world as she may have acted. Her father, Anthony Kidman, was a high-level Luciferian himself, a member of Aleister Crowley's notorious Ordo Templi Orientis, a group that engages in ritual sex magic and ancient pagan rites. He died mysteriously after an Australian named Fiona Barnett formally named him as one of her abusers.
Throughout my childhood, I was a victim of Australia's VIP child sex trafficking ring. For example, I was prostituted to pedophile parties at Parliament House, Canberra, and to an international leader at Fairbairn Military Airport. The people involved in this elite pedophile ring included high-ranking politicians, police, and judiciary.
Kidman's stardom makes a lot more sense once we know about her elite connections. And it should come as no surprise that Kubrick cast her in the film Eyes Wide Shut. His use of a real-life couple at the time, who was also connected to a real Illuminati family, hints to the audience that this movie is not really fiction.
They have a heart attack gun, so I could just be like doing my own thing, working out, and all of a sudden, that's messed up. Maybe I shouldn't put that online. What if that actually happens? One day they play that at my funeral, and I'm like, I don't say those words. Yeah, I think I might be though. I got problems.
Mandela effect. This one's weird because the longer I look at it, the more they both look wrong. I don't know which one's right. But this is undeniably one of the most recognized logos in the world. Again, this is the largest car manufacturer, or one of the largest car manufacturers in the world. This logo has changed over time in that sometimes it's a much bigger oval, sometimes it's round, sometimes the colors are different. There's red, there's black, there's different shades of blue. But the one thing that has always stayed the same and consistent is the actual logo, because it's based on the script of Henry Ford, his actual writing. So riddle me this, which one's correct? Are you looking for the little thingamajigger up there or the little not thingamajigger? I don't even know what that's called, the swirly thing. Does it have a swirly thing or does it not have a swirly thing? Do me a favor, go into the comment section and tell me, do you think it's just the straight line across or that it has a little curly Q on top? Which one is it? Then I want you to come back to this video and I want you to watch the rest of it and find out which one it is. Okay? Got it? Great. The answer is the curly Q. It's always had the curly Q.
Really?
Does it look right to you? I mean, again, they, different colors and stuff like that, but
I don't know.
I don't know.
Right?
This is one that I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with it to be like, gosh, I remember this and I remember that. But a lot of people are very vocal about this particular logo. So tell me what you think. Let me know in the comments.
I didn't care about any of that until he started messing with Fruit of the Loom and a cornucopia. That one terrified me. Oh, and the Pokemon with the tail was Pikachu. Yeah, I love Pikachu. Pikachu! Yeah, I used to say that running down the halls. I was a weird kid. Sorry.
Sheriffs stole 32 of our generators. They stole over $40,000 worth of our generators in the middle of the night, or like early morning darkness, because they were supposed to be watching them for us. We had them all donated from Samaritan's Purse.
And they just stole them?
They just took them. When we assembled them all, filled them up with gas, made sure they run, and they were like the baddest generators you could get. We had a list, because it was before that really cold 2 days, like a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
We had a list of like disabled, elderly, feeble elderly, people that have cancer, stuff like that, to deliver these generators to. And we get there that morning, and a sheriff's truck has some of our stuff loaded up in it. The director of Penland School of Craft was like, hey, what are y'all doing? And they said, what are you doing? And they just drove off. And then she went in our warehouse and 32 of our generators were gone. out of the 36 we had.
Well, you are in possession of stolen generators.
File a report and have me charged.
Well, we don't need to file a report.
You go see Captain Cecil Hobson.
We need our generators back because we
got the one that I had.
We had a list of people that are disabled who cannot start a generator.
And that's who we gave them to. Disabled.
Yep. You didn't have the list.
It doesn't matter. They're still disabled and they live in this county.
Well, I don't believe you because they disappeared in the middle of the night. I was
We
here
don't care
7
who.
minutes
Yeah, I
ago.
didn't. You got about 2.
We have a list of people who are disabled and they can't start a generator. Oh, that's the people I gave it to. I gave it to them. Yeah, who are they? My buddy Tom. All right, that's it. You weirdo. Staring at me. Who would even stare at this face? You got problems. I look at it and get disrespectful in the morning. Like, wrong with you? I start, when I put my beard down, I put my cigarette out and stuff. You really think I live like that? That's messed up. You racist. You racist. How you so racist? You're on my channel. I'm blocking you. That's it. No, I'm not bipolar. I take my medication. All right. Get out of here. Or if you want to watch another one, you could watch the one right here or the one over here. One of these days, my eyes going to go cross-eyed and I'm going to get them both at the same time. Watch.